A lot of headlines right now that it's a fire sale and all these Panthers players can be had for 60 cents on the dollar. That's not true.
Keeping that away from me, that's out of my control. I'm trying to control everything I can control, and that's, having a great meeting here.
We'll listen, though, and that includes Christian McCaffrey, that includes the stars on defense, but it's going to be multiple picks.
It has been a very wild 2 weeks for the Carolina Panthers, and it just seems to be getting more and more wild, but it culminated in them trading, without a doubt, their best asset. And we have all the details of the deal right here for you. So before we get to the content, we're giving away $100 every single week to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. If you want shorter versions of this content, then make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And now that we get all of that out of the way, break! Like check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? The Carolina Panthers have had a hell of a week. I mean, a part of me wishes that in-season Hard Knocks was on the Carolina Panthers, just based upon how much stuff that they went through over the past week. And if you include 2 weeks, you could also include the fact that they hired their head coach that they signed to a 7-year deal after just 3 years under the helm. If that's not crazy enough for you, how about the interim head coach, Steve Wilkes, getting his first opportunity to be a coach again in the NFL, getting into a sideline spat with Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson then did his best Antonio Brown impression, and guess what ended up happening to him? He got his traded to the Arizona Cardinals, who, by the way, just finished playing Thursday Night Football. How about that Cardinals defense? But with respect to Robbie Anderson, that is not nearly as surprising as the news we have here for you today. This past Saturday, we got a bombshell report from Adam Schefter, something that none of us really expected. And as a matter of fact, Christian McCaffrey wasn't really a name that was popping up in trade rumors 10 days ago. But starting from Saturday, Adam Schefter tweeted out that the Carolina Panthers are listening to other teams about a potential trade for star running back Christian McCaffrey, although a deal might not be easy to complete, league sources tell ESPN. So that last sentence, a deal might not be easy to complete, you know what they were talking about over there? Well, apparently the Panthers had been approached by multiple teams for trades, but they would only listen if offers include multiple first-round picks. I thought that was some sort of like crazy twisting of words by Peter Schrager, but no, they were dead serious. They wanted multiple first-round picks in return for Christian McCaffrey. Here's the interesting part about McCaffrey. He entered the league at the age of 21. This is his 5th season in the NFL. He was drafted in the 2017 NFL draft that featured a ton of really freaking good running backs like Leonard Fournette, Alvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Deontay Foreman, who is probably going to take over for Christian McCaffrey on the Carolina Panthers now, or just to name a few. So as a result, the free agency class for this upcoming offseason, at least in terms of running back, and I think we mentioned this in at least like 3 out of our last 6 videos, is very, very stacked. I mean, I think I actually mentioned this in my video earlier today, but if you happen to miss it, the running backs that are going to hit free agency this offseason, possibly assuming they're not franchise tagged, is Saquon Barkley, Damian Harris, Kareem Hunt, Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard, Devin Singletary, Jamal Williams, Rashad Penny, Alexander Madison, Raheem Mostert, and Jeff Wilson. So as a result, I wasn't expecting multiple first-round picks to be dealt for Christian McCaffrey. As a matter of fact, there was a part of me that felt like he wasn't going to get dealt at all. Now that he did, I think we could expect players like DJ Moore to get dealt as well, because we got a bombshell report right as Thursday Night Football was playing that the Carolina Panthers have officially traded Christian McCaffrey to the San Francisco 49ers, which is kind of cute because Christian McCaffrey played his college ball at Stanford, so it means he gets to go back home and play football for the 49ers. This is intriguing, and we're going to mention this before we talk about the package that they gave up, because that kind of changed things for me, at least in my opinion. This is really intriguing because this is easily the best running back that Kyle Shanahan has had to use in San Francisco since the time he's gotten there. there. So the combination of Christian McCaffrey in a Kyle Shanahan zone running scheme is going to be a lot of fun to watch. If you're a Christian McCaffrey fantasy football owner, you should be excited about this. If you're a San Francisco 49ers fan, you should be intrigued and very excited about this. There's only one problem. I hate to rain on everyone's parade here. The package that was given up for Christian McCaffrey, I personally don't know how I feel about it. So later on, we got the word that the Carolina Panthers get a second round pick in 2023, a third round pick in 2023, and a fourth round pick in 2023, plus a fifth rounder in 2024. This isn't like Herschel Walker being traded to the Minnesota Vikings from the Dallas Cowboys Part 2, but that is a lot of capital to give up for a running back, especially if the free agency class this offseason is going to be as deep as it is. You couple that with the fact that Christian McCaffrey wasn't drafted number 1 in fantasy leagues for a reason this year. He was drafted number 2, but the primary issue with Christian McCaffrey over the past couple seasons is he's struggled to stay healthy. Now look, I think it's personally fairly lazy to say, hey, this could be a bad play because this player could get injured, because hell, if we're being honest, any player could get injured. Just because Christian McCaffrey has only played 10 games in the past 2 seasons, excluding this season combined, doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to sustain greater injury moving forward. You also have to think that if the San Francisco 49ers are making a decision like this, it probably means that they're not really feeling good about their offense. And for good reason. It's been very rough for the San Francisco 49ers recently, despite having all the weapons that they currently have on their team. Kyle Shanahan and Christian McCaffrey are a match made in heaven, not only because Christian McCaffrey's dad, Ed McCaffrey, played for Kyle Shanahan's dad when they were on the Denver Broncos, but also because if this one trade hits, then I'm convinced that the San Francisco 49ers could sneak into the Super Bowl. They made it to the NFC Championship game last year. Imagine if they had Christian McCaffrey in that game. Whenever you supplement a good defense with a powerful rushing attack, and believe me, Kyle Shanahan's a mastermind with zone running schemes, then you're pretty freaking tough to beat and could definitely make a Super Bowl run. But that's assuming that everything about this trade goes right. That's assuming that Christian McCaffrey comes in, is able to contribute right away, and is healthy for the rest of the season. Now, what's really interesting is the fact that there was another team that was interested in Christian McCaffrey, ironically from the same division. You see, the Panthers were after a first round pick, but both teams were in it at the end, the Rams and the 49ers, and they both didn't have one. What they got was essentially the equivalent. Meanwhile, the 49ers received a game changer. So the Carolina Panthers are able to get about that same exact value, and the Los Angeles Rams were trying to get Christian McCaffrey as well. Maybe that's why all of the Cam Akers drama was going on. Now it's starting to all make sense. But what I think is very significant about this is the fact that originally, if you saw my take earlier on what the Carolina Panthers were going through, you'd know that I didn't really have that much confidence in them getting a good return for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, again, it's a very deep free agency class, and on top of that, it's a running back with an injury history. So I was expecting him to possibly get traded for maybe like a third round pick or a fourth round pick, but the Panthers did a really good job hyping up his value, not getting way too desperate to move on from him. And eventually, as a result, they were able to get a second rounder, a third rounder, and 2 fourth rounders, which is just the right way to start your rebuild. Christian McCaffrey played the prime of his career for the Carolina Panthers, and now he's going to move on to the San Francisco 49ers. The Carolina Panthers get a significant amount of assets so they could kickstart their rebuild, and Lord knows they're gonna need it, man. They need as many darts as they possibly can to throw at that dartboard. Regardless, this does give me some more faith in their general manager, Scott Fitterer, which some people have been a little bit skeptical of, but historically, this is a guy that, at least from my perspective of things, he's a guy that, in my opinion, has made some pretty solid trades. The trade for Stephon Gilmore being one, the trade for Sam Darnold not being one, and now trading Christian McCaffrey for a significant return. I give the Carolina Panthers an A+ for this trade. I can't really give the 49ers a grade for this trade because if Christian McCaffrey is injured, injured for the rest of the season, obviously they get a D- or an F. If Christian McCaffrey is the difference between them making it to the Super Bowl and them just being mediocre, then obviously I have to give them an A. But this is kind of scary for the San Francisco 49ers because they're also burning up their draft picks really quickly. I mean, considering what they gave up to get Trey Lance and now they had to give up all this capital for Christian McCaffrey, it is a little nerve-wracking to be the 49ers because they don't have a pick until the 5th round this year. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this, man. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.